Hey, good morning, Mr. Mark Wille. How are you today? He lost his voice. He lost his voice. We're gonna have a show like they used to do back in the what was it, 40s, 50s, where there was no sound. It was just pure acting, right? We'll play charades, Mark. Well, good morning to you, Mark. It's good to see you. I know your voice is scratchy, and I know it gets that way, especially when you spend a lot of time in the manufacturing plant. That sawdust gets to you, which is kind of odd for the guy called Willie Woodworks. Maybe you shouldn't eat it. Maybe you shouldn't eat it. Maybe you should wear a respirator or something. But I know it. We've had a really good week. At least on our end and everything that we had going on. And I know you had a good week as well. So just take a minute there. I'm going to read my opening dialogue for this morning, and then we're going to hop into it. Get yourself some water. Get the frogs out. All right, here we go, everybody. So listen, the Building Components Manufacturing Conference and beyond, where every day is Career in Construction Day. Mark, it's Career in Construction Day, and we're going to talk about that. We want to know, can building components manufacturing and offsite construction bring capacity to bear in this housing market? Is the shift from green homes to wellness homes real? No, that was the topic, Mark. Green homes to wellness homes. Can construction software really drive efficiencies and lock in profitability up front? Well, here's what we learned. Open-minded people came to learn and knowledgeable people came to teach. There is enough housing demand for us to all work together, win together, and grow market share together. Construction technology is changing the landscape of careers in construction. That's correct. It's changing the landscape in the careers of construction. And this is at BCMC this week. And this is why Mark and I are going to sit here and I'm going to talk and he's going to nod a lot today because of his voice. But so much change, Mark. But I think the first thing to talk about before BCMC is let's talk about October being Careers in Construction Month. How often is that? So what does that truly mean? Go ahead, try and say something, Mark. I know it. He's hurting. I know you had a little scratch in there. Say good morning. I can't hear you at all.
Morning, Dave.
There you are. Your mic was off. Yeah. Good morning. So I won't ask you a lot of questions. You can just do a lot of nodding and thumbs up. But October is Careers in Construction Month. And we should talk about maybe what we should all do to help grow careers in construction month. On the Dave Cooper Live show and on BS Friday with Mark and I, we always have the professors on. We always have some sort of teaching on. We have a lot of educators on our show. And not just educators, but practitioners of the education they're teaching. So it's great to have that. And I think we should really focus on that in October, Mark. And, let's really push these people that are out there trying to make a difference, that are teaching it every single day.
We had Matt Bloomquist on recently, right? And what his students are doing is building a home. High school students are building a home.
That's
so
right.
We need those teachers so that they can deliver a lifetime of experiences to their students.
Yeah, we sure do. We definitely need the teachers, and we definitely need the students, and we need the young people in our industry. So speaking of young people, BCMC was full of young people. Yesterday on BS Friday, I showed an interview with one young buck, Aaron Love, who I actually love. That guy had so much energy. He's so excited to go home and build a new shop. You heard the video, right? He goes, I have done so much business, and he's selling, big saws. So at Etsy, SD, how can I say it right? He always yells at me. He goes, I'm gonna punch you in the face. You don't say it right next time. But he's a character. He's funny. But he sold so many. He's like, I got to go home and build a bigger shop. And I think that's absolutely what it's about, BCMC. So we do have the younger people coming in and younger minds too. And what I liked about Aaron is he said, you know what? Everybody builds their stuff. Everybody builds their stuff to work with their proprietary software. Not Mr. Aaron. If I'm understanding it right, he built something to work with everybody's stuff. So you can just put his machine in there, open source, go to work. And it's a beautiful machine too. It's actually very well made. I love it. Even the concept of how he gets the sawdust out of the bottom of it. He has a whole vacuum system. The sawdust will not build up in the bottom of the machine, not even in the corners.
The enthusiasm he shared when you interviewed him was just full of charisma, and you could tell the excitement of the success he had from the show. It was one of the highlights for me.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be a highlight for a lot of people, but he wasn't the only one. We got a lot of people, Mark, I run around and do those little interviews. That wasn't a live interview. We do a ton of these little interviews on location when we're at these events. And then, we put them out throughout the year. So everybody understands the excitement of what happens at these shows. And this year with all the pent up energy, years of COVID, busy. Everybody in this industry is so busy, even with the supply chain issues. They came to buy. I mean, their wallets were out. They were writing checks. This wasn't a normal show. It wasn't the normal get together and have a good time, which we did. But this was a show where business was being done. There was a lot less joking around on the showroom floor and a lot more business being done. And that's what it used to be about. And that's what it's still about today.
That the attendance was really well. So you brought the component of the virtual, but for the attendance to be elevated right now, as we're stretching out of COVID, it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, it is a beautiful thing. And it was fun to see everybody. Let's put it like that. It was great to get together. We had so many people while we were live on location, Mark, that were just astonished by the amount of information we were able to deliver walking through the show. Because here's what we heard. Dave, I was compromised. My health's compromised. I can't travel. Like personal, hey, really thank you for bringing us in virtually and letting us enjoy the walkthrough and the experience. It's not just about showing up at the booth. It's about kind of doing those walkthroughs and showing people, what's kind of going on, which is what we're all about. And even coming up on the next few trade shows, it's going to be a lot of fun to be able to help those that would want to be there because of other issues, and I think that was, it felt really good to be able to do that for sure. All right, Mark. So let me go to my notes here. I'm going to run through some stuff. So, Monday's expert interview at BCMC show was with Jess Lose, the executive director of SBCA. Now, this was my first BCMC ever, Mark. First, can you believe it? I get to a lot of these shows, and this was my first. And out of all of the shows, and I know it's post, after COVID now, they really had it going on, man. I mean, they nailed it. I mean, out of the park. I didn't get one bad, comment, or I wish they did this, or I wish they did that. They brought it. They brought the technology. They brought the people. And I had no idea that the SBCA even builds their own apps for their truss systems. Did you know that? So if you're a member of the SBCA and you're doing trusses, you get access to their app, which you can use on your iPad to verify truss placement, truss calculations, and right on your own job site. So I mean, they're really going to a whole nother level. So super excited about that. Yes, you're going to hear a lot about BCMC today because that's where I spent my time. And if you want to see the virtual walkthroughs because you didn't go, you're going to put on an event. Maybe you should go watch our videos and see how the others did it because they were super successful this year. And I know everybody's wondering, are people going to show up? So big deal. So we had Jess Lose on, the executive director, on Monday, which was absolutely amazing. And like I said, we came here to buy is what we constantly heard over and over and over again. So I love it. I hope people made some money. I hope they got some equipment that's going to help them produce more homes and help the builders produce more homes. All right. And again, Wednesday, hey, listen, it wasn't your normal product spotlight. We were live on location. Guess where, Mark? BCMC. I love
So
it. I love it.
the live aspect was brilliant for me because being unable to attend the conference, I did feel as if I was there. You walked up to Ben Hershey, right? You get greeted with a big smile, and then you get taken into the booth, and you get an explanation of this product and of this
Yeah.
product, and you get the buzz. You really get the feeling of the folks around you. I so enjoyed that, Dave.
Yeah, it really was that. And I'm glad you enjoyed it, Mark. I know you wanted to be there this year and had some things come up that you had to do, and not just what in the booth Thursday. After our live walkthrough, we actually did a round table. We sat down with none other than we pull it all up here. I think Jen and I are working against each other. There we go. Greg Goodbot from Sukup, Aaron Love from Etsy Frame Technology, Tony Acampa from Shelter Systems Limited, and myself. We sat down and had a live roundtable discussion on pretty much the future of offsite. Where is it headed? Workforce development. So we had some people like Greg that have been in this industry. Sukup America is a big, company selling their tables and saws and windows and all the things that they have. And we brought somebody like Aaron Love in and Tony Acampa to sit down and actually, where are we headed? Because Tony has a background in human resources as well. So he understands the workforce development side in a big way. And we sat down and we talked about where the future of it's going. And we're going to turn that into a news release as well. I think that conversation, it's worthy of a press release, not press release, news release or a blog for sure.
That's brilliant. I didn't catch that one, and I know Greg. I've got to meet Aaron through your live streaming, but Tony's a new name for me. So this is the other thing it brings forward. It brings connections.
It does bring connections. In fact, you're going to probably hear. Let me go in here and let me see if I can pull it up.
By the way, I really like your background. I think it's exceptional. The way the logo pops out, Dave, really sharp look.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's something that we put together for the trade show here. Here, I'm going to bring in a screenshot of this so you guys can see. That way, everybody knows who these people are, because I think it's important to share those who help us. I don't have the best Wi-Fi where I'm at this morning, but here we go.
I was going to say, I think
this was the right. Can you see it all right, Mark?
It looks great. So introduce everyone maybe from left to right, Dave.
Yeah. So you know what? Funny. It's in the same as the banner below. So you got Greg Goodbout from Sukup America on the left over here. Sitting next to him is Aaron Love from Etsy Frame Technologies. And then to the right, the other guy has a haircut. Tony Acampa from Shelter Systems Limited. And we sat here and we had a beautiful roundtable event and discussed all the happenings that were happening out at the show, which was great. And then some other things that we got to do, Mark. With every show we had somebody that showed up that didn't have their stuff, like their whole booth got lost in the mail. It never showed up for the event. Could you imagine that happening? Your booth never showing up for an event?
That's like you showing up without a camera and a microphone, right? Like that's a tool of the trade.
That's exactly it. Oh, so just to give them some love, I'm gonna flash them up here. Well, it's gonna run through a darn commercial, but I'll flash them up here in a second as it's playing. As those YouTube commercials, man, it's enough to buy me some coffee, Mark. I can tell you now, you don't make enough money to pay your mortgage on YouTube. I can guarantee it. at least not at my level, eh?
That's right, but that's what happens when you get all the views that you're getting. They start throwing in more commercials because they want to be a part of all waves, right? That's how the algorithm works.
They do. They do. So here, let me switch this screen up. So these are the folks from Global Fireproof Solutions. We did a short video with them to help just promote them a little bit because they did get unfortunately their booth didn't show up. But what they did do, Mark, if you look at it, I mean, they pulled together something pretty quick. They put some liquor on the counter, which is always an attraction for a bunch of construction folks at a show. And here you go. Look, we got two more young people, and we got another female in the mix, which we need more of. And surprisingly enough, at the IWBC, more and more women are involved in our industry, and it's growing. And within the SBCA, it's got to be 90% of women. Part of the organization, growing the organization, working within the SBCA on the team. So it was really great to see that as well. But if you don't know Global Fireproof Solutions, Mark, they're an interesting group because their product you can spray on. You can ship your wood or your material to them. They'll run it through their process, and it meets all the fire rating codes necessary. Or if it's an existing structure, they can come out to you and fireproof your wood, steel, all of that stuff right on site, which is pretty darn cool, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, they're the company that allow you to do it in various colors, right? To distinguish your look and brand, right?
Yeah, I believe they do have different colors. I didn't actually get into that conversation with them, but I believe you're absolutely right. I've heard some other people say something like that.
Yeah,
So
there's that distinction in the marketplace. It's like DeWalt and Makita, right? You have a different color to put yourself out there, and a lot of those components in our industry are truly made out of wood. And so when they require that aspect of fire treating, it's wonderful to have a partner there to help that out.
yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. What
What
else did
was
we
their
do this week?
liquor, Dave? Was
What's
there
that?
liquor fireball? Is that what they chose?
That would have been funny, right? I don't think they had any fireball. But their makeshift booth, they even said the same thing. Their makeshift booth was busy as can be. Here, I'll play a minute of. Why not? We have time, right? Saturday
Yeah.
morning coffee. There's no rush on this stuff, is there? Get the sound up.
Looking booth behind you that you kind of pulled together, and it's really worked for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Mike, why don't you tell us what you do here?
So, as far as global, yeah. So, Global Fireproof, what we do, we fire treat all kinds of products. Primarily wood. We have two factories. We have one in Cartersville, Georgia, one in Groveland, Florida. And basically, our customers, they bring us lumber, plywood, OSB, LVLs, glue lambs. I mean, almost any kind of raw wood product you could think of. And we apply a fire retardant penetrant to it that absorbs into the wood, becoming permanent, and it provides the required fire performance of the IBC.
Sure. And it's one of those things we don't talk about often enough is, the fireproofing. I mean, we need it, not just on wood, but on metal and everything else. How about yourself, Nick?
Well, in addition to some of the materials that Mike mentioned, we can also treat things like steel, fabrics, plastics, any of those unique jobs that are tough and people can't figure out how to get it up to code, or maybe, they don't want to mess with the headache of it. We like those jobs. We like going in and having a unique challenge that we can come up with solutions for.
That's it. Doing it better,
That's
right?
what it's about is the collaboration. And
I'm going to skip over to the end here where I ask them about their time at BCMC because this is the common theme.
Yeah, great. Well, there you have it, everybody. We are at BCMC.
Go back here.
Any schedule changes and who the attendees list are, I'm very impressed by that.
Great.
Here we go. Let's try this.
As well, and some of the interactive tools that I haven't actually seen at any of the other conferences. The app that they developed beforehand to stay up to date with any schedule changes and who the attendees list are, I'm very impressed by that.
Yeah, great. Well, there you have it, everybody. We are at
I know she said earlier in that too. I mean, she really went into the amount of people in her booth and all that, but I don't want to sit there and try and search for it. But yeah, they've done so much, for this show, which is really cool. But that's kind of what's going on out there. And, bless them because they showed up with no booth. They were panicked out. I ran into them at one of the cocktail hours and they were telling me, and I said, you know what? we're going to just stop by and do something for you. So we kind of did a little bit for him. And right after we put that up at the show, she came over because there were people coming up to her and talking to her about wanting to do business, and that's what our show is about. It's not about the quantity of people. It's not about the quantity. It's about the quality. This is not a place, we would love the consumer to be here more, and we're trying to reach that. But as you know, Mark, we're connecting people in the industry that don't know they need to be connected.
That's right. It's a selective process. It's not throwing darts willy-nilly at the side of a barn. I think the next opportunity, if I could break out my crystal ball, is when the big Cooper RV rolls into Georgia and rolls into Florida, it could go visit the global company, right? And we could see firsthand how that product is applied and the benefits that it does, which alarmingly to steel, not just wood and plywood and glue lamps. So bless your heart for showcasing them. And I think they did a nice job of getting that sign pulled together, and sounds like they had a productive show. Beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, they did. And if you guys didn't know this, I told Mark, since he doesn't like to fly, I'm going to pick him up and we're going to drive to Orlando. We're going to do a road trip in the motorhome. And with that road trip, who out there would like to see Mark hang his head out the window and watch his beard? You see the bikers going down the road and their beard splits.
Hey, if that kind of video gets us more consumers, Dave, I'll hang my head out the window daily, brother.
I love it. Hey, Greg Ugaldi's in the house. Yeah, Greg, we got some NAHB leadership meetings. I'm not confident I am going to make it. A couple things coming up there. I'll send you a private message of things that we had go on in our world, but it's not off the possibilities yet. But we'll see.
So
we'll see.
Are those the meetings that you often attend in Texas, Dave, or are these in different parts of the U.S.?
Well, there's several throughout the year. This one's in Houston, Texas. And it's where the leadership teams at the NAHB get together with the board of directors and all the other volunteers that sit on these subcommittees to help plan out education, to help plan out events, and to just drive the industry forward. So they do get together 4 times a year and, really hash things out and also get to know, it's like anything else. It's great to get together because even they have not been together yet, that I know of. At least I haven't been to one. So, hey, what's happening, Mr. Joel Hudson's? Happy Saturday morning to you. Well, happy Saturday morning to you as well. Good to see you, my friend. Hopefully I'll catch you when we get back down to Florida here before too long. We missed each other last go around. All right, Mark. So one of the other big announcements, did you hear the announcement with TLC Modular?
No, that one missed my radar. What's going on with TLC?
Alistair Sawyer was on our before our expert interview on, or was it Wednesday or Monday? I think it was Wednesday because he sent me a message. Goldman Sachs is now 60% partner with TLC Modular. Goldman Sachs is now in the ball game. That's the word I was looking for. Thanks, Jennifer. Breaking news. That's what we did. Breaking news. Sorry, got home late. So yeah, how big of a deal is that? Now we have Berkshire Hathaway in the game, right? They've been in for a long time. Warren Buffett. Now you got the Goldman Sachs in, right? In fact, I think all 4 big names are in now. I mean, these are game changers. And if you're out there, I think that, who knows what's going to happen with this, but these aren't small players and they're not getting into the market because they think it's a lose.
Well, I also think that the influences and exposure that those companies create will be able to shed a bit more light on how great the industry is. So if they're jumping in, we also know that they're not jumping in, that they've been strategically planning this for a while. And so that's just a beautiful thing, because when we when we expand the light on all the good work that's being done to create incredible buildings, incredible housing for the void that's out there, that's going to bring someone else to follow suit behind Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, for sure. And look who's in the house. Alistair has actually tuned in. Hey, we're talking about your ears must have been ringing, huh? Must have been ringing. So I think, let me just see, sure. I think somebody's sending me a message saying, looks like Twitch may be down or not active. Greg's saying it as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's showing as active on my end here. So I don't know, maybe you're traveling. The internet's not good. But Alistair, thumbs up, man. It was awesome having you on the show Wednesday. That was the first time I could get him on the show, Mark. I mean, this is a guy that is out there working with companies like Goldman Sachs. It's always great to have people come on the show, but it's also always great when we can announce it first right here. That's what we're known for, Mark, is getting the word out there to the industry. And that's where this matters the most. So we appreciate that, Alistair. Thank you so much for coming on the show Wednesday. I look forward to having you on the show at a later time to really talk about TLC Modular. I think the world needs to know more about what you guys are doing all around the world, as a matter of fact. So bring it. We look forward to it. All right, moving on. Let's move on. What did we do? BS Friday. Well, we were in the airport on BS Friday, right? I was getting ready to catch a plane. It was just you and I BSing for about 20, 30 minutes about what's going on and what's coming up. Right. So we didn't have a special guest on this Friday. We just did a small recap on your week, our week. We talked about the Midwest Science Symposium a little bit, which was amazing and awesome. We talked about Brett Little's awesome event that they had going on, and we have some big event coming up next Friday.
That's right. It was exciting, Dave, to still be able to squeeze in a show. So we have not missed a Friday since we began, somewhere around 75 episodes. But the magic of next week, right, when we prepare for what's coming up, is Chris Magwood.
That's right.
Very,
very amazing
important.
Is Chris Magwood. This is going to be right. For sure. Chris Magwood is going to be on, and he is obsessed with making better buildings for people and the planet. Net zero energy, zero carbon, zero toxin, zero waste. Is it possible? You bet your pants it's possible. You bet your pants it's possible. I think I'm going to get some signs, Mark, as I drive around the state of New Jersey. That's where I'm at. And I see all this construction going on. And every time I see a dumpster, I think I'm just going to start hanging like an Integra sign with a picture of their job site with no dumpster and be like, and just put a sign up. Why do you throw away 30% of your lumber?
Well, it's a whole lot of effort. It's a whole lot of effort, but it's also a huge cost.
Yeah.
And you have to get a permit for these dumpsters. So besides the material you're losing and the cost of the refuse container being carted away, you need a permit for that dumpster, and you need people to physically fill it up. I mean, how much does that cost, Dave? Right?
Yeah.
And let's remember, people say that they're throwing it away. There is no away.
It's going to a landfill.
Yep.
Just filling up the ground.
I love the obsessed, right? That the logo Jen created for Friday. It's going to be really exciting for folks that haven't met him. That's what's nice about Coffee with Dave is they get a chance to review the person's profile, connect with them, take a deep dive long before the show even happens. So really looking forward to this embodied energy conversation we're going to be having.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show. It is. But before your show, Mark, we still have our Wednesday product spotlight, which is always another great show. Now, I left some time open for the trade show because I knew I'd run into some things that were interesting, right? And we like to show the flashy, glitzy stuff, the AR, and that's nice. But sometimes life is simpler than that. So we're going to have on Steve Simanski, founder of Trust Brace Solutions. Have you seen the Trust Brace Solutions, Mark?
I saw him in the background while you're walking through the show, and I saw your explanation. Uh, it, it sounds like a win-win, right? It is making the work more precise.
It is making the work more precise. And here's the thing. So you've hung a lot of trusses in your day, Mark. How much effort goes into getting the trusses up, getting them all aligned, sitting there and making sure they're straight and level? How often have you seen that or had to do that in your day? And how time consuming is doing that, even if you do it a lot?
Well, so the thing is, usually it's someone that knows what they're doing, and someone on the other side is a helper. Maybe you got a guy down below that helps guiding it in. But what you find is you're setting your side, right? And then you have to go down from the ladder, walk across the room, and get on the other fellow's ladder because they just can't figure it out. So this is real, right? Talk about
It
a
is.
game of up and down the ladder. That's what happens. So I'm really intrigued by what Steve brings forward.
Yeah. So imagine going up the ladder, setting that one end panel truss, and then being able to take something very thin that's already knows the dimension, whether it's 16, 12, 24, whatever you're doing on your spacing. And you could drive one nail here, boom, spread it across, grab the truss next to it, drive one nail, have a cross brace that squares it up, and three nails, boom, 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 next truss, boom, perfectly straight all the way across and accurate. And this isn't rocket science. It's not rocket science. It took a lot of R&D. I think it's a brilliant thing. It's so simple that not only for the offsite industry, for anybody to go out there and use. And I think it's worth showing on the show, because sometimes innovation isn't what we're always talking about. Sometimes it's just somebody that found a better way to be more productive for the people in the field, which in fact causes less chance for injury up and down the ladders, right? It makes it quicker, simpler, and it gets people off of the roof environment stories into the air.
So what Jerry from Integra always says, the quote I bring up almost at every opportunity, Dave, is precision equals performance. So
That's right.
we know that those trusses are there to carry the load per foot designated for the engineering. But the next part is the sheathing or the subfloor that goes on top. And so if those trusses aren't right, guess what? Now your spacing for your sheet goods is completely out of whack, and the folks that put the trusses are already gone. So what do? You lose time, you lose money, and you got to do it again. So this is not only for precision, but it's helping the next person after you, which is what good products do.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right. So that's going to be Wednesday. So tune in for that. And then the following week, we have a bunch of stuff coming up. And then I'm going to wrap with the keynote speakers from BCMC, because there's one in particular I really want to talk about just for a minute. In fact, let's do it now, because what you just said ties into this. So keynote speakers: Daniel Levine, international trends expert; Todd Tomalak, was a 6-time winner of the most accurate category forecaster from Chicago Federal Reserve; and Garrison Wynn, who was creating a culture of safety. Now, Garrison Wynn is an international speaker, does all the Fortune 500 companies. And I was fortunate enough to be able to interview him afterwards. But then he was intrigued by what we do. He literally sat down probably for about 45 minutes to an hour just talking to Jennifer and I, because he's about the education, and he's about he loves our industry. And one of the things that he was really focused on was, how do you talk to people about safety in a way that they understand it and they feel confident, especially when he says there's 3 ways to do things, 3 ways to do things. The first 2 will kill you. The third one is right, when it comes to construction and things that we're doing. There's plenty of people that the first two ways have done it for 30 years that way. And either one, they just paid more attention than most, and number two, they're just lucky. How do you go and tell that person, because they're in a leadership role, they've been there for a long time. You're not going to have a 30-something come in and tell a 50-something person how something's done when they've done it this way for that many years. And he had a really neat approach on how to do it. I call it the sandwich, right? You give them a couple things that you love up front. I usually call it the SHI, sandwich. Bread on this side, crap in the middle. But getting people to make change is hard. And safety is a big deal, and it's a team sport. Safety is a team sport on a construction site, and understanding how to approach that, how to do that, and how that impacts your business and your insurance was what this conversation was all about. So Garrison, if you haven't seen him out there, you need to see it. If you don't understand how to approach safety in your company, which who thinks of that, right? I wasn't thinking about that. But when I sat down and listened to him before, our interview, holy cow. I mean, this is more than just safety. He talks about the culture. He talks about how you get people to play on a team versus, this is how we've always done it.
Right.
So super excited about that. And of course, the forecasters from John Burns Real Estate were there, which is always great, and the others. And dude, I'm telling you, man, I always say this. I think it's one of the best shows I've ever been to. That's what I said about World of Modular last year. And I think from a glitz and glamour standpoint and fun, World of Modular had some really great stuff. But when it came to an overall experience of an event where people were there purchasing and people were, intently listening to the education session because the speakers were at that level, it was a game changer.
So I know that Todd was there, and of course you were with Tim Seams also from
Tim was there.
What a pleasant surprise to see you two, just like kids in a candy store, happy to be together on the playground. I want to ask Dave, you just brought up World of Modular, and it's few and far between that these trade shows have happened. Is there someone other than, of course, Jen, that was at World of Modular that you also saw at the BCMC show?
Yeah, there were a couple for sure. Who was at World of Modular? Well, Joe, the forward team, some of them were World of Modular.
Yep.
Who else? I think Tim was at World of Modular. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to wing it off the top of my head.
Jen left a note for you, Dave, because she's got a better memory than you and I. Right in the chat.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. Young people don't answer. Just say it was.
So the point of all that is that when you go, it's a very small industry when it comes down to it. And there's overlap that's continuing to happen between the people that attend a World of Modular and people that attend the building components manufacturing. And then you're going to see a lot of those same faces once again when it comes to the IBS show and the many faces of the NEHB.
Well, there is, and at BCMC there was a lot of new faces, and I think that was a big deal, and I see Jennifer's notes here as well. But there were some of the same, some same people, but it was, when I say new, there was a lot of new faces, and where the technology really lies, and this is what somebody said to me: if you really want to find out who has something new, he goes, go to the 10x10 booths, not the big booths. You want to see the latest and greatest technology? Go find the undiscovered person still in the 10x10 booth and spend your time looking. And there was a ton of new people showing what they're coming up with for our industry.
Well, this is a really great point of the new faces that are there, because oftentimes the old language was, that's not the way we always did it. Right. Well, the new faces have no idea what you're talking about, right? They don't know the old ways of doing it. So let's be positive. Let's
That's right.
share everything that's happening now, because those old ways are great experience, and it's what a lot of us cut our cloth on, right? So that's wonderful. But everything that's coming our way makes our industry and our products better and easier to work with. And that's what's attracting those new faces. Those new faces are the ones that are on Twitch and on Twitter and on YouTube
That's right.
saying, "Did you see what was on the product spotlight this Wednesday?" That's how they're learning. It's beautiful, Dave.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. It is how they're learning, and it's that learning and the way they're doing it that's making them think different and bring us great products. Good morning to Christy Powell. This is great. What's happening, Christy? You know what? I have to look something up real quick, Mark, because it is well deserved, and I don't remember the exact thing. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I want to show something that is a big deal here.
All right.
It is a big deal. Huh?
I said, all right.
Give me a second. Going to LinkedIn here. I'm going to pull it up.
Careful, folks. Dave has 700 messages a day coming in on LinkedIn, so this might take a minute.
You think so? Yeah. All right. I just started the morning with already 20.
I know.
All right. Here we go. This is for Christy Powell because it's well deserved. Stop screen share, all these steps we got to do to make something pop up on the screen, Mark. It's got to be a better way. That's it.
There will be a better way, Dave. There will be a better way. It'll happen.
Is this the one? Let me see. Is that showed up?
It's showed right up. 84 Lumber on the scene.
All right, here we go. Look at this. So let me read this out loud so everybody knows. Christy Powell, I am honored and humbled by the opportunity to serve on the board of directors of the Women's Builders Council. 84 Lumber is an amazing company that cares about the community and serving, and we're excited about what our corporate culture can add to this council in the state of New York. So thank you, Renee Sachs, for all you do. So a big shout out to Christy Powell, getting on the Women's Builder Council. We need more news like this. We need more women in our industry. And so big shout out. I thought that was pretty cool. I read it. I think I was in the airport. I saw that pop up, and I think it's well deserved.
I'm inspired by it because for Christmas gifts, people always used to have the little red Staples button, and you hit it and it says that was easy. Based on what you just showed now with Christy Powell, I think we need to launch a Christmas gift. And when you press the red button, it says women build it, just like that button on there. I think that's the first product we need to bring forward.
Yep.
Or at least a T-shirt, Jennifer. So I don't know that we need a talking T-shirt, although that would be pretty cool too.
Just kind of like our scratch and sniff microphones. I don't know. Everybody doesn't know this, but Mark and I have a way of sharing certain smells through our microphone. It's a new technology that we've been working on. So if you're interested in it, call Mark.
It's an easy guess. It's coffee, ginger ale, or water, and coffee smells the strongest.
Oh no. My favorite person in the world, and we're going to be playing Exploding Cats together one of these days. Mark's mother's in the house. What's happening, Diane? Good morning to you. Bernilda jumping up and down, Mark. So, who's Bernilda?
Bernilda is remember Dave last year when my grandmother hit 100 years old?
Yes.
So that's Bernilda. My dad Walter, that's her mom or his mom. And she was ahead of her time. So she had just hit 100 last year. But now think back. So to be growing up in this country and have your grandma be vice president of a bank, president of your church, right? This was the type of leadership that we had in our family. And so glad my mom happens to be tuning in on a Saturday morning And of course, shout out to my grandma for being a positive leader for everyone, uh, not just the incredible women in her circle.
Yeah, big shout out to her. That is amazing. That's awesome. And that generation was so amazing. Even my grandmother, and and then we're going to move back on here. She was the first female in Pennsylvania to have a sales position and got a company car. Right? Think about that. That generation. And yep, she wouldn't take no for an answer. She was out there working. My grandfather was in the coal mines and at the steel mill, and she wasn't sitting at home being a stay-at-home mom. She was out there earning a living and liked to be on the road. And so a big shout out to let me get the name again, right? Bernilda, and
Yep.
That's it. Grandma Schultes, that was our grandma. And guess what? A big shout back out to Christy Powell for inspiring that conversation. Good job, Christy. Thank you for sharing that yesterday. You made her day.
So
All right, Mark.
maybe Dave Cooper Live goes on a partnership with 84 Lumber and I don't know, the NAHB, anyone who wants to join, and let's see about making that that button happen, because I think it's very important.
It is.
Yeah, you take this week was also the Illinois Green annual event, Dave, right? And they have a staff of four of which are female leaders.
Yeah, well,
Four
of
out
course.
of five.
Four out of five. It takes detail. It takes detail to pull off an event. It takes detail. Not like me, where I see a squirrel. That's why I do video. I'm not a detail guy. That's why everybody says more Jen, less Dave, because she's got the detail. I just got the gift of gab.
Well, I'm on delay behind you. Now I'm looking for the squirrel, Dave.
Well, hey, well, it's good to be back in a back in Jersey. Get to see our kids again. It's been a week. Traveling. By the way, Omaha, Nebraska, if you have not been there, is an amazing city. I never have been there. I never would have thought, it would be a place for a trade show or a convention, but it was spot on. You can walk to wonderful restaurants. The event was right across the street from the Hilton and the Marriott where everybody was staying. It was top notch. I was a little wary going into it, Omaha, Nebraska, but in the airport, get off the plane, go to the car. Like, it's one of those airports, quick and simple, and the people are just nice everywhere. So
that brings back to crystal ball, Dave. You had the wonderful experience. Does the BCMC happen in Omaha again next year, or do we have to wait for an announcement like 3 months from now? All that.
Jen probably knows the date of the next one. No, I don't think it's in Omaha next year. I think they're moving it somewhere else. My guess is if they knew how well this went this year, it would be back there again next year.
Yeah,
it was that good. I would go back to Omaha for this event over and over again. It was the convenience of it, the simplicity of it, and the food in Omaha. I had no idea. It is a mecca for Omaha steaks, obviously, and high-end restaurants. I had no idea, so I'm glad I got to go.
I was hoping Warren Buffett was going to walk into your booth, Dave, and sit down. Yeah. Maybe he was busy reading an article about. Hey,
my tech was there. My tech was there. There was the opportunity that Warren Buffett would show up. It was kind of on the radar for a lot of people, but hey, he's kind of a busy guy, I guess, or I don't know.
Watching those train cars and for sale signs go up, but I have to say, now's the opportunity, because of the momentum generated by the SPCA and the BCMC, to start looking at your calendar and make sure you're a part of the trade show next year, whether you're a presenter, whether you're an exhibitor, whether you're an attendee, or whether you're someone that tunes in to Dave Cooper Live and knows that you have an obligation. Know that it was a success, and success brings more success.
It does. And you know what? The more success we can bring to the people that work so hard in our industry to do the right thing, and there's so many of them. It was a wonderful thing to see. All right, Mark. Listen, we're at holy mackerel. We went for an hour today, just you and I, blabbergasted, and you didn't think you could speak. You did a good job.
You warmed me up. I think it was all those images from the BCMC. So great you guys went out there, and I look forward to the release of the rest of the videos as they, get dropped over time. Really exciting, Dave.
For sure.
Thanks.
Awesome. All right, Mark, thanks for tuning in, and everybody else for tuning in. We definitely got a great show for you coming up Wednesday. Monday, we have some things going on, so it's going to be a surprise Monday for this week. Just catching up from being on the road. But with that said, be sure to tune in Wednesday and Friday next week, because we will have some awesome products to show and amazing guests, as we always do. And the following Wednesday, guess what? We have Simon Waldron on next week. Do you know Simon Waldron?
Tell me all about him.
So Simon Waldron is somebody we've been trying to get on the show for quite some time. And Simon is a modular systems and solutions expert, enabling smarter building for the industry. So what does that mean? Well, I guess you're going to have to tune in to find out, but you do not want to miss Simon Waldron. He is a heck of a talker. He's out of Melbourne, Australia. So he has a great accent, and he understands plug and play modular wiring. Plug and play modular wiring. Does that mean that I can do modular wiring for houses like we do wiring for cars? Think about it. You might want to tune in for this one, because the world is changing as we know it, and Simon Waldron's bringing it to us. Not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. We're booked all the way out. And then we have another show coming up where we're going to have, get this, Mark, Simpson Strong Tie on the show, and Hundegger.
Oh, on the same show?
Together.
I think I read an article about that, Dave.
Yeah,
I can't wait till the announcement. My lips are sealed.
That's all right. There's some things that have happened in the world that are worth tuning in for to understand where the industry is going. People were saying, bam, if we do X and Y and Z, we can grow X, Y, and Z together. And it's all about being together. So we got a lot of great things coming up between now and the end of the year. And be sure to put on your calendar. You know what, Mark? When is our Christmas story? We got to start promoting our Christmas story, because we always read a Cat in a Hat book, Mark and I, and we're going to have fun doing it again this Christmas. So join us and have your kids ready. We keep it PG.
I'm looking at the calendar, Dave. I'm trying to fast forward to December real quick, but you mentioned next week, not this coming week, but the other week after. So 2 weeks from yesterday, we're going to have James Dean on.
Oh, that's right. So James Dean, does he wear a black leather jacket and a white T-shirt?
That's the joy. You have to tune in to find out. And I have it saved on my calendar. It's going to flip flop on me. December 24th is Christmas Eve, and I don't know. Maybe we'll read 2 books that day.
We have so our show. So Christmas is Saturday then.
Christmas is Saturday this year. That's right.
Oh, so this is going to be a Christmas Eve story. This is awesome.
That's right. We get to leave the cookies and milk out, and the carrots, and Mrs. Claus and Santa, they have to work on the weekend. So please be nice. Otherwise, you're getting coal on a Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. Bucket of coal. Hey, it's a real thing, so trust me, you still have some time, kiddos, to be good the rest of the year, so you end up with no bucket of coals. Also coming up is the Industrialized Wood-Based Construction Conference, 1026 and 1027. I will be hosting and moderating a panel at IWBC this year with Rick Murdoch from Autovol, Von Buckley from Volumetric Building Companies, and Helena Lidlow from Lindbäcks in Sweden. So you definitely want to tune in for the Industrialized Wood-Based Construction Conference coming up on 10/26 through 10/27. Be there. You do not want to miss this. There's going to be some great education. The last year and the year before, the education sessions were amazing. So put it on your calendar. We will be at the International Builders Show. We have a full access pass, just like CNN, Fox News, whoever you listen to. I'm not getting into the politics. I don't care. But guess who's going to be right in the mix with them? Dave Cooper Live. We got all the backstage passes. We can hang out in the press room, all of the fun stuff that happens there. So hopefully the Secretary of Housing will come in and maybe I'll get to ask a question. There could be some fun stuff going on. So looking forward to that as well.
I'll have to bodyguard for you, Dave, and watch the door so that, every time CNN tries to come in, I go, nope, Dave's in the middle. Gotta take it outside.
You know what? That's it. You can wear your green jacket.
Yeah.
Wear your green jacket, right? So
I'm glad Jen brought up the Industrialized Wood-Based conference, and moderating the panel, and those speakers, Rick and Vaughn and Helena are excellent people to share the table with you, Dave. So really looking forward to the coverage of that.
Yeah, I am as well, and I'm very honored and blessed that BCMC, SBCA, IWBC, National Associations of Home Builders, Building Systems Council include us to be part of everything they're doing and help share the knowledge and bring this industry together. It's absolutely amazing. Who would have thought when we started this journey a couple of years ago that we would be helping them word of what they do, and that's what it's all about, helping out each other. So all right, Mark, you get the final word, and then we're going to close it out. So close it out for us.
So everyone, thank you for being here. Please go to YouTube, hit the like, and if you can share the YouTube on social media, tag someone that can learn, and tag someone that's going into high school or college, and let them know that there's always a chance to learn more. Dave Cooper Live brings it to you each and every week.
Thanks everybody for watching. Have a wonderful Saturday and Sunday with your family. Hope you get some great memories this weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. All right, Mark. Till then, we'll see you, brother.